Hey guys, Morgan here with Buckskin Lumber Company. You can see winter has finally arrived here, and this is about 6 inches deep of sawmill sawdust, right? And what we do is we usually hang it on this here magnet, just like this. Okay, that's one of the problems. When appropriately hung right there, guess what? That does a fine job of collecting sawdust. However, we have one issue. It is constantly hitting our laser right there, right? So with having the issue of it hitting a laser, occasionally falling off, and yet you can see by the amount of sawdust collecting up here, it still throws it out. I did a bit of research. There are some different companies doing different things to mitigate this, and a few of them are doing 3D printed sawdust chutes. I'm going to post a link below to what I think is probably one of the best, but I'm going to show you the one that I actually had my neighbor crank out for me on his 3D printer. It is a 2-piece design, and it is available on Thingiverse. So if you have access to a 3D printer, this 2-piece operation is supposed to mount like this, right there. Okay, boom. Got this big fancy hook right here and enough bolt holes to mount it solid. I'm going to show you the issue with this design and the modification to my mill that I'm actually going to make to try and make it fit. So upon test fitting this to our mill, I noticed one complaint that I've always had about all of these styles of dust collection systems. When mounted up into place, your door hits it right here, okay? So the issue is this little chunk of door. Okay, once seated up into place, it's actually got a phenomenal fit. And so I'm going to bring you in super close and show you exactly what modification I'm going to make. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this surface right here flush with this surface right there, and that actually gives me enough room for that door to clear on the top side. Okay, you guys can see that gap right there. So now the next issue is bringing it in close enough that these bolt holes right here will actually suck up tight. And the issue that we're having there is the door hits right there above my thumb. I'm gonna break out the trusty old rigid with the skinny wheel, and I'm gonna start slowly working this back just enough to be able to clear at a 90-degree extension. So we got the first cut done. Let's see how this fits into place. Okay, we got our leftward movement. Whew, man. You know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm just gonna go on ahead and get this screwed into place, and then I'll start working on my cuts from there. You can see we are almost at full extension. I would like it to be right about here, but that would suffice. And what I want to see now is how big of a gaping hole does that leave right there. Okay. This system right here could be built up to go inside that chute so that a modification could be made. See what I'm talking about right there? Let's play with this just a little bit more. You can see the issue of the door hitting it. Where are your eye pro? That is what we're looking for. So now the big issue is about an inch of gap in our chute right there that is going to be 100% guaranteed an exhaust port, so to speak. There's no doubt in my mind that sawdust is going to come out of that chute right there and just make even bigger of a mess. So in your 3D print design, if you have somebody that can modify that to increase 1 inch, I think I'm actually going to play with that. But for now, I'll probably just attach a piece of metal there somewhere. So as this door swings out here, comes clear out, it just barely clips right there, right? That will break that chute every time. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna knock off another 1/4 of an inch of this to be able to clear that chute. So when I take the second piece off, it can actually fully swing to its max potential. Let's see how that works. Oh, I like that. I actually like that way better. that's what we're gonna go with right there, guys. So now realistically, we need that extra 1.5 inch of material right here. If we could get that 3D printed on there, in my humble opinion, that would be the cat's meow for this here chute operation. I'm gonna go on ahead and get this finished screwed in here. With 4 screws, that's really solid. Gonna come clear out to there. We'll slide that up. Open our chute to its, or our door to its fullest extent. Still gonna hit there, but it's hitting out here, not there. So even if you did want to open it to there, it's actually just beyond my 90 degrees. I can leave the chute on and not worry about it when I change a blade. Bucket hangs just like that. And that's what it looks like on the inside. And that is what it looks like once the door is closed. I don't see much sawdust blowing out of that, so I could always throw a little silicone right there in that crack if need be. That sawdust is gonna come off of that blade, you know, obviously right across all in there and get shipped right out. So I want to be 100% honest with you guys right now, whether I think this project is worth doing yourself or whether you can just buy one. The company that makes one that I've seen that has actually taken into consideration design changes, from what I can see, it's Odell Designs, and on Etsy, I'll provide the link to their page. I want to say they want like $25 or $30 for their version of this. What that one took into account is this door design. It shoots out at a lower angle down here. That way so the door can swing open all on its own. If you printed off this file right here and you made that modification to it, you would still have to modify your door. The guys over at Odell Design modified that so that you don't have to. I have no affiliation with them, but I now understand all the modifications that they did to theirs. Talking to my buddy that printed this for me, this was $20, give or take a few pennies, in filament just to manufacture this one right here. And that doesn't include my modification that I had to put there. So that kind of tells you right there, for $25 to $30, it's probably best just to head over to Etsy, hit those guys up, order one, screw it right into place, and not have to worry about it, not have to go through the 30 minutes of modifications that I just made to this one, and cutting the door on my sawmill to make this one fit. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up and see just how well it does. Maybe I'll regret it, maybe I won't. As I went to sling my door open, it hit, knocked this off, and appears to have already cracked that right there. Oh yeah, blew out that whole side. I didn't even look at that. Yep. Haven't even fired it up and used it yet, and I already broke it. I think I'm gonna put me a label right here that says remove dust chute, so I don't break it again. Well, I hope my lesson learned here saves you guys some time and money. That's why I started this page, was to help share information that I've learned, and been a fun journey so far. Appreciate you guys watching. If you would, hit the subscribe and like the video. Thanks a lot.